Hey guys, happy Thursday. Welcome to our all levels class for this week. I always get a lot of requests for like shoulder areas in class. So this week we'll do a flow that focuses on upper back and shoulders. So grab either a blanket or a towel to use as a prop at the end. We'll use it folded up and then rolled up into the burrito kind of shape. We'll be doing a supported fish with it. So when you're ready, you can make your way to the mat. The blanket or towel is the only prop that we should need tonight. Put that off to the side. And we're just gonna get started in a child's pose. So you can either take the knees out wide on the mat, or if it's more comfortable, you can keep the knees together. And then from there, just walk the fingertips out long as you sink the heart down. And you can let either the forehead or one cheek rest on the mat. And we'll just take a few breaths here to settle in. Begin to slow the mind and slow the breath. On each inhale, feel that breath traveling from the base of your tailbone all the way up the back into the crown. Really let those hips sink down towards the heels and feel that heart pressing down towards the mat. If you're resting on one cheek, go ahead and turn your head so that you can rest on the other side so you feel even here. Take just a few more breaths. Maybe set an intention for your practice. And then bring the chin to the mat so that you're looking forward towards the fingertips. We're going to lift the palms so that just the tips of the fingertips, the tips of the fingers are resting on the mat. And from here, sink the heart down even more. This should provide a bit of a shoulder stretch and a bit of a deeper stretch in the upper back. Release the hands back down to a regular child's pose position. And then come up into a tabletop and make your way to hero's pose. So if the hero's pose is uncomfortable on your knees, you can take any easy seated position. From here, we'll inhale the arms up and bring them out wide so they're in a cactus position. Find a tall spine here as you pull the belly button in. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, and on an exhale, take a twist to your right. Come back to center, and then on your next exhale, twist to the opposite side. Inhale back to center. Let the left fingertips drop down as you reach up with the right hand. Open up through that right side body. Exhale, release the right fingertips down as you reach up with the left. Keep that shoulder kind of spiraling open, spiraling back. Exhale, come back to center. Take a quick breath here. And then bring the hands back up to that cactus arm position. We're going to start to draw the elbows together in front of the body and then cross the right elbow on top of the left. Options here are to place the hands on the shoulders, and this might be a good place to stay if you feel a pretty good stretch along the upper back here. Or if you'd like to, you can find a second bind at the wrists. So I'm wrapping that left hand around my right wrist for eagle arms. Really feel those shoulder blades moving apart as you broaden through the back and through the shoulders. Inhale, start to lift the elbows up. One more breath here. And then release the arms, come back into that cactus on an inhale. Shine the heart up, tilt the chin back. Inhale back to a neutral spine. And then bring the elbows together once again, this time crossing the left on top of the right. We have the option to take that second bind at the wrists, or if that's too much, you can always just rest the hands on top of the shoulders. Keep the spine tall, keep it lengthening. And then when you're ready, start to move those elbows up just an inch or two. Notice how that feels in the upper back. One more breath. And then inhale the elbows out wide. Drop the hands down next to the sides, and we'll take a few shoulder rolls here. So move as fast or as slow as feels good for you. Really drawing those shoulders up towards the ears. And then as you roll them down, feel the shoulder blades moving down the back. And then let's switch directions with those shoulder rolls. Good, let's take just one more round. And then plant the hands out in front. We're going to move into a downward facing dog next. So the fingertips are spread wide. Tuck the back toes and send the hips up and towards the back of the mat, pressing the heart through towards the shins. Take a little movement here, bending one knee and then the other to walk out your dog. And then shake the head yes, shake the head no. Try to release any tension in the neck here. With your next breath, lift the left heel high, coming into your three-legged dog. So keep the hips squared. Both hip points are facing down towards the mat. And then start to bend that left knee, pull it in towards the chest, step it all the way to the top of the mat. We're setting up for a warrior one. The back foot comes to a 45-degree angle. Right knee is at a 90-degree angle as you lift through the heart, fingertips reaching long. Inhale, really reach the fingertips up, lengthen. And then on an exhale, bring the hands behind the back, interlace those fingertips. Squeeze the shoulder blades together as you look up. Exhale, begin to hinge forward at the hips. Your left shoulder is going to come towards the inside of the front knee. Drop the crown of the head towards the mat. Relax the neck. If you'd like to add a shoulder stretch here, maybe those fingertips inch off of the lower back, moving towards the front of the mat. Good. Inhale, sweep the arms back up for your warrior one. One breath here. And then on an exhale, bring both hands down to frame the front foot. The back heel lifts. The right hand stays planted at the inside of the foot. Reach those left fingertips up for your side twist. Lower the left fingertips down to frame the front foot. And then sweep that foot back into your high plank or high push-up position. From here, you can drop the knees down and take a knees, chest, chin, or shift forward and lower all the way down to the mat for your chaturanga. Inhale, peel the heart up, cobra, baby cobra. Pause here, feeling that stretch in the upper back. And then exhale, let the forehead sink down. Make your way back into that downward facing dog. One full inhale, full exhale here in down dog. And then with the next breath, lift the right heel high for your three-legged dog. Feel one line of energy from the right heel all the way to the right fingertips. Bend the knee, move that right knee in towards the chest, and then step it all the way to the top of the mat. Set up for your warrior one with the right leg in front. Feel strong here in your warrior one, gazing at an unmoving point in front of you. See if you can relax the shoulders down and away from the ears. Release the hands, interlacing fingers at that low back, and then squeeze the shoulder blades together, broaden through the chest, through the heart as you gaze up. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Move the right shoulder towards the inside of that front knee for your humble warrior. The very top of the head moves down towards the mat, and maybe you lift those fingertips off of the low back. Maybe it's just a few inches, or maybe the fingertips can reach all the way towards the front. Release the hands, sweep it back up, warrior one. Exhale, frame the front foot. The left hand stays planted. The back heel lifts, turning up. And then reach up through the right fingertips for your twist. Exhale the right hand down, so both hands are on either side of that front foot. And then sweep it all the way back to your high push-up position. You can drop the knees down and take your knees, chest, chin, or take your chaturanga. Keep those elbows nice and close to the ribs. Inhale for your baby cobra. Exhale, make your way back to downward facing dog. Again, one full inhale and one full exhale here. Inhale, lift the left heel for your three-legged dog. This time, bend the knee and open up that hip. So move that left heel towards the glute muscle and open up the left hip. Exhale, step that left foot all the way to the top of the mat. We're coming straight into a warrior two. So the back foot is at 90 degrees towards the long side of your mat. Cartwheel those hands up. Find your 90-degree angle in the front leg. Relax the shoulders. Find your breath here. Exhale, come into your side angle pose. The front arm comes down to the thigh as the right fingertips reach up. Let's reach those right fingertips towards the front of the mat, finding a nice stretch in the right side body. Inhale back to warrior two. Straighten that left leg and then turn both toes to face the long edge of your mat. Bring the hands interlace behind that low back. So just like we did for humble warrior, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Lift the chin And then on an exhale, come into your wide-legged forward fold, keeping the hands at the low back here. The crown drops down. Maybe the fingertips lift off of the low back for a shoulder rinse. Release the hands and just take a few more breaths here in your wide-legged forward fold. Walk your hands over to the right leg. Turn those toes to face the short edge of the mat. And then we're going to come right into our warrior two on the right side. So it should be the opposite side from the last leg that we did. Find your 90-degree angle. Cartwheel the hands up. We should be in warrior two, opposite leg in front. Take a moment to set up here, gazing right out over that middle fingertip. Exhale into your side angle pose, bringing the forearm down to the front thigh. And then let's reach those left fingertips overhead, finding a nice side stretch along the left side. Inhale back to your warrior two, and then cartwheel the hands down to frame the front right foot. Step back, high push-up position. This time we'll all lower all the way down to the mat. Let the belly rest here. And then press, excuse me, press in with the palms. Peel the heart up. This time, see if the arms can straighten all the way into our full cobra. Allow the heart and the chest to be open. Take your gaze over to the left shoulder and just notice how that feels on the neck and on the upper back. Inhale back to center, and then take your gaze over the opposite shoulder. Back to center, and then lower all the way down to the belly. We'll bend the knees and take the feet from side to side, releasing any tension in the low back here. Allow the legs to come out long on the mat, and then press into your child's pose. Take just a moment or two here to reset, come back to that breath, maybe come back to your intention. When you're ready, make your way into tabletop position. The shoulders are stacked on top of the wrists, the hips are stacked on top of the knees. Inhale, lift the left fingertips. On an exhale, we'll thread that left hand behind the right. The whole length of the left arm comes down to the ground as the left cheek comes down to the ground for thread the needle. You can keep the right hand right next to that cheek, or maybe you bring the right hand to the low back, finding a bind here. Continue with your breath. If you have the bind with the right hand, slowly return it down to the mat. Press in through the right palm as you sweep the left fingertips up once again. Exhale, return to your tabletop position. We'll take a thread the needle on the right, so reach the right fingertips up. And then on an exhale, thread them behind the left hand, coming all the way down to the mat. And maybe taking a bind with the left fingertips here. Replace the left fingertips to the mat. Inhale, sweep the right hand up. Return to your tabletop, and then just swing the legs out to one side, bringing the bottoms of the feet together into this butterfly pose. We're going to lower all the way down onto the back. So moving nice and slowly here, taking as much time as you need to come into your reclined butterfly pose. So allow the knees to drop out to the sides. Let's take the arms up overhead and then allow the hands to hold on to opposite elbows. So this provides a really nice opening along the upper back here. Feel the body sinking into the mat. Notice the rise and fall of the belly as maybe the breath begins to slow. Take one more full breath here. And then reach the fingertips long as you extend the feet out long, finding a full body stretch, lengthening from fingertips to toes. Find the blanket or the towel that I asked you to grab at the beginning. And when you have it rolled into that burrito type of shape, we'll set that long ways down on the mat. So I like to bring it almost to the tailbone, so almost to that lower back. And then begin to lay back down on the mat so that the blanket or towel is right in the center of the spine. The shoulder blades will kind of spill over either side of the blanket as we find our supported fish pose. So it's a big heart opener, and it also feels good on the upper back. So take a moment to adjust your blanket or your towel to find the position that's best for you. We kind of want it more towards the upper back. So the very top of my blanket is at the bottom of my neck. See if you have any space here to relax the muscles of the forehead, to release a clenched jaw, to soften in the shoulders. Just allow yourself to melt into the mat. If you'd like to stay here in this supported fish, For our Shavasana tonight, you're more than welcome to stay right where you are. If you'd like to take a more traditional Shavasana, you can gently prop yourself up using the elbows and remove that blanket or towel, placing it off to the side as you let the whole length of the spine relax down onto the mat, the heels finding the corners of each of the mat, and allowing the hands to rest down by the side as we find our final resting pose, our Shavasana. Bring your awareness back to the present moment. And take some gentle movements in the fingers and in the toes. When you're ready, make your way over onto one side of the body. Pausing here to allow all the benefits of your practice to sink in. Eventually come up to a seated position as you bring the hands together at heart center. We'll raise the thumb knuckles up to the third eye, and together we'll bow and say Namaste. Thank you guys for watching this evening. Have a good rest of your night and a good weekend.